Hi, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner,
And our dog, Betty White.
your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
Could we have named it something more creative? Probably. But it's the name of our blog. It's our last name. We're on an adventure. Yada, yada, yada. After owning our own business, working 24/7,
And don't forget a mental breakdown in between.
we made a lifestyle change and decided to make the most out of life.
We sold our house, most of our belongings, downsized, and moved to the coast.
We live life minimally, but fully.
We live each day as an adventure.
This show will help you learn how to live life more fully, with more intention, by experiencing more, and with less stuff.
We'll talk about our own experiences, interview others who have much to share by creating a spark in our lives.
Some days we'll share real life ongoings of what we're going through, and others will talk about our favorite flavor of waffle.
Come join our adventure.
It's the Arner Adventures Podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Jerry.
And I'm Shannon.
Betty White is here, and we are lifestyle bloggers, content creators, and now podcast hosts of the Arner Adventures Podcasts.
I don't think that's ever going to get old for me, the podcast host. I'm excited.
Pinch me. It doesn't feel real, does it?
No. This is episode 2. We've made it to a second episode, if you can believe that.
So we have a question for you. Would you be able to commit to a no-buy year? Well, in this episode, we're going to tell you how we did it in 2021. We committed to a year of no-buy. We're going to tell you how we did it, give you the lowdown on why we decided to do it, how we did after a year on the no-buy year lifestyle, what we learned from it, and if we do it again.
Yeah. The big question is, would we do it again? We keep getting that question. So we'll just kind of dive right into to kind of the story and hit those questions. And we're excited to kind of go through it. The first thing is, why did we commit to the no-buy year? So as minimalists, which we are, if you're new to our story, listen to episode 1, first of all, to learn how we kind of got here. But as our minimalist lifestyle, this definitely isn't unchartered territory. But as humans, we often, sort of find ourselves, falling back into old routines of sort of buying things, without thinking about it, adding just stuff to our home, forgetting about the important things in life. And spoiler alert, it's not the stuff that we have.
Every January, we play the minimalism game. If you aren't familiar, it is where each day we say on January 1st, you would get rid of one thing. If you didn't give up at that point, then on January 2nd, you would get rid of 2 things.
Yeah.
On January 3rd, 3 things. I think you're seeing where this is going. So it would get really interesting down by the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd. You're really scraping out things, but it made it worthwhile. You really had to dig deep into some things. And yeah, sometimes it was old bolts, screws, and nails, but it was ones that you really thought, what, they would sit there for another 12 years unused if in a big old box if I didn't get rid of them.
Or sometimes in a junk drawer.
Junk drawer things, yeah, you'd really get down to it. So
yeah, and it's a lot of fun when you are competing with someone. So if you're in a household, or even if you're not, if you live alone and you can compete with someone else online, or you just hold each other accountable, and you can post online the thing you're getting rid of, and it's really fun when you can sort of set a prize and say whoever goes the longest, the furthest in the month, the other person has to do whatever. Or Jerry and I used to make it fun where the other person had to plan dinners for the next month, or the next, or one person got to pick the next trip pre-COVID or whatever. So you just kind of make it fun. And but yeah, every January we played that. So it's sort of, we were always sort of doing something to either declutter or sort of get back to basics. And so what better way to really reflect on the importance of experiences, adventures, really being in the here and now, than to not buy stuff. And so we wanted to do this sort of big endeavor, not as a punishment. We were really excited about it. We considered it as sort of a reset, a fasting of our spending habits, so with sort of a withdrawal of the things that became routine, the things that had no thought considered, and just to improve overall. We wanted to make it a habit of living more intentionally.
So we had a trial. We had a no-buy weekend. That was a couple of years prior to starting the no-buy year last year. And figured we saved about $200. So on average, with our standard practice, just weekends, ballpark figure, that is about $10,400 a year. It's just so easy to get caught up in consumerism. So we were excited to just start being more mindful about our spending and setting guidelines ahead of the year. That's the key. You set your guidelines so you know your hot spots and your problem areas.
Yeah. So we decided that excuse me, our mantra for the year going into it would be, looking at all of our stuff. And a lot of people, I will tell you, a lot of people said, "Oh, so did you just stock up on all of all of the stuff you wanted prior to the year?" And we did not do that. It's not like, our big thing, especially going into the new year, were candles. Like we love having candles, especially going into the winter. And we happen to have this certain kind of candle that we really love from this candle maker in New Orleans, and we happened to have a box of them, and we were so happy that we did. And I remember going through the year going, "Oh my God, there's only like a few left. What are we gonna do?" But we just, we didn't have any more after that. But no, we did not stock up on the things that we wanted prior to going into it. So we just decided our mantra was use it up, wear it out, make it do without. Do we have to have it? If it came up where we needed something, do we have to have it? If something goes bad, can we repair it? Can we make it ourselves? Or can we YouTube and find a way to DIY it? YouTube can be a beautiful thing.
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just anything you ever want to know is on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cannot wait to tell you about one of our favorite partners, Sugar Wish. Now, if you aren't familiar, Sugar Wish is one of those brilliant businesses where you go, "Why didn't I think of that?"
How many times have you wanted or needed to send a gift to someone and it was either last minute or you didn't want to send just another gift that was just going to lay around and take up space?
We have so much synergy with Sugar Wish.
Sugar Wish allows you to send a sweet gift to someone and the recipient gets to choose their favorites.
We've received Sugar Wish gifts and sent Sugar Wish gifts, and they are always a hit. You cannot go wrong.
It's super easy.
You just go to the website, sugarwish.com, choose the size of the gift you want to send, enter a personalized message and note tailored to the person you're sending it to, and it arrives to that person or pup via email or text.
The recipient then gets your message and then chooses what they want.
What? They have so many options to choose from. Candies, cookies, popcorn, snacks, cotton candy. When have you had cotton candy lately except for the state fair? Tea, coffee, and the best, Betty White's fave, dog treats and swag. Betty gets to choose from crunchy, chewy, jumbo, and training treats. It's a pup's dream.
All natural, preservative-free treats that are made with carefully selected, high-quality ingredients. They even have some grain, wheat-free options.
Perfect for your fur baby or the dog lover in your life.
Use code Betty White, that's all caps, one word, Betty White, to save $7 off of your gift. We also have the link in the show notes. Sugar Wish always saves the day.
Now back to the show.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our approved spending. These are the things that we allowed ourselves to spend on. For starters, there's utilities. Then there's auto maintenance, which includes fuel and repairs as needed. There's medical, health and medical. There's Betty White medical, health and food. Um, Food and groceries. Then there's dining out, or which is typically takeout with us. So that we had to put that within a budget, equivalent to about 1 week. Toiletries.
One time a
Oh,
week.
I'm sorry.
We were not going to do just 1 week.
We were gonna eat out all week. One time a week. One time a week.
Our budget was equivalent to about one time a week.
One time a
Yeah.
week. Yeah. Okay. Toiletries, of course, and that had a lot to do with your stuff, right?
Yeah. So toiletries, of course, was on there, but what we did do was, again, you have to be specific in your guidelines. So what was allowed were toiletries only after the products were used up that we had. So I think a lot of times you get to where, you can get in the toiletry line the aisle at Target or wherever, Ulta, and you can just get really excited about products. But we were very mindful about saying, okay, we need this or we need this, and saying, okay, that is when we will buy it, is when the products are used up. So for me, for like makeup, saying, okay, I'm not going to buy it until it runs out. And it's all used, and do I need it? So I actually found myself, I don't think there were many things I actually had to buy, because I had a lot of makeup that really I could go through. And then also, there was a lot of Zoom calls instead of in person. So that actually worked out better. And also on the list of approved were experiences and travel. So also a bonus for us is that we had some trips that were planned for 2020 that the credits transferred over to 2021. So, we had that. And then, with Arnott Ventures, we're fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to travel. So that was nice. I guess we can go ahead into the restrictions.
We can go ahead to the restrictions. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And let's talk about clothing. That's a big one. We have enough clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there was something where we did need something, we agreed we'd borrow from family or friends or.
So, yeah, we had kind of set the thing saying, okay, we're not going to buy clothing. And oh gosh, what if we need something for an event? Well, we're just going to have to borrow it, or we're just going to have to do something. What was really nice is that, and if you've been following our blog, I had lost a lot of weight over the past year. So I sold a lot of clothes on Poshmark. And so during that, I had just left the balance on Poshmark. And so we had decided that if we needed something, and if for some reason, there wasn't, a family member we could borrow something from or whatever, we would just use that balance for clothes. So we went through the year having not bought any clothes. So we didn't spend any money on clothes.
No, we didn't.
The whole year.
We did not.
Which was amazing. So gifts was a restriction. We're not terrible people. We actually are very giving people. We volunteer. We provide assistance when needed. So when things come up for someone, we like to provide an experience. We talk about this a lot in our blog, and we'll actually link in the show notes some examples of ways that you can definitely provide gifts in ways that are not things. They can be consumables and experiences and time, and ways that people are very appreciative of things that you can give that are not just things that are going to sit around.
Yeah. And we don't buy souvenirs either when we travel. That's a thing of the past for us.
Yep. Also restriction are cleaning products. We actually make our own cleaning products. So we had that on the list, just sort of a reminder to not get lazy. It was a restriction. I think before in the past we learned how to make our own cleaning products, but we can sort of get a little lazy and say, oh, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to buy it or whatever. So we started making them. And then when things came up and we needed another cleaner, we kind of got excited about learning how to make our own products with other things. It was also nice because we reduced, the plastic we were using and many more of the packaging that we were using. And it was much more healthier for us.
Yeah, and fun. It's kind of the DIY aspect of that is kind of fun. It makes you feel good about making these things for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and moving on, home office supplies. We just sort of use what we have, and then everything's digital after that.
Yeah, it just reminded us to not to print. Everything is digital in our home, which I think most people are getting to anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. But we really got there. Whereas before there were still some things that we still use paper for.
Books.
Books.
And I love books.
Yeah.
I love the way they look on a shelf.
Yeah. So we did not buy any books while we definitely support authors and books and we definitely love books. We utilized our library more. We used community book trade groups. We used our little free library that's on my walk in the morning with Betty White. I will also say that we did obtain new books this year. I had some free gift cards for books that people gave me. So I was still able to purchase some new books. And I was gifted some books. So we still love books, but we didn't buy any because we did want to start using our library more. And we did want to start swapping and being more community minded about books.
Yeah, and that being said, I know I had a pretty good collection from the past anyway when I used to buy them. So there's enough that if you just sort of circle back around once in a while, you go, oh, I haven't looked at that book in a few years.
Yeah.
And I might read excerpts from an old book or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Something else, and the reason we're going to talk about this is that when you create your own guidelines, and Jerry hit on this earlier, you are creating this based off of your own hotspots, your own quote unquote trouble areas. So, for example, one of mine pre-2021 when we did this were plants. I was constantly buying new plants, and it seems like that's kind of ridiculous, but I just was constantly buying new plants. So I decided that that was a trouble spot for me and that I would put that on here and I would learn more about propagating plants. So what was really nice is that Hilton Carter, if you're not familiar, I will definitely link him in the show notes. He is a plant stylist, just plant guru. He's wonderful. He did, especially during COVID, would do a lot of like online courses, like these workshops about different things with plants. And so I learned how to propagate plants. So I don't need to buy plants anymore because I have so many and I can propagate them. And what's really nice is now I can also give them away as gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful gift.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's also, by the way, a fiddle leaf fig guru, if you're a fiddle leaf fig person like I am. So anyway, those were our guidelines. Sometimes things came up and we were like, oh, they're not in our guidelines. And we just kind of talked about it. And
some will always come up here and there, but
yeah,
we usually find a way to work it out.
To work it out.
Yeah. The guidelines were pretty well set, so we didn't have to worry about too much coming up.
Yeah. Okay. So the question of how do we think we did? Well, we did a monthly check-in at the end of every month on YouTube. So that held us accountable. And we think we did fairly well, right?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. Saved a ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
We never figured out the total. I now wish that every time something came up, we wrote it down of how
Yeah.
much, but we never figured it out. But if that early figure you talked about, the 10,400 was just weekends, I can't even imagine what the overall would be. But
Hmm.
yeah, we know we saved a ton of money. We learned a lot. Um we sort of hit some highlights of what we know that we learned and we're really excited about. This year we had a successful garden. Um
We've had gardens, but notice the word successful.
yeah. This year our garden thrived. I mean, I hear angels singing. You all may not hear them, but I do.
Oh, they are there.
Our garden was amazing.
Hmm.
Of course we made our own cleaning products and stuck to that, which was great. I talked about this earlier that we didn't buy any clothes for ourselves, which is absolutely amazing.
We got rid of Amazon Prime. So those
Yeah,
pesky boxes aren't showing up at your door twice a day.
right. Amazon Prime, you can live without it.
Hmm.
It can be done.
Yes, it
Um, I think we all depend on Amazon Prime way too much. I just remember every time I needed anything, I would just pull it up, hit checkout, and it was just so easy.
Oh yeah, it's too convenient. It gets away from you quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
you
yeah.
were breaking down boxes all the time.
Through the dark hours of the night, sometimes. It's just.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing that we talked about this on our YouTube channel, and I think that this is just a real hidden gem, is that when things would break down, and our toaster oven is the biggest thing, because if you follow our blog, you know this, but if you don't and you're new here, we cook in our toaster oven religiously. It comes from our days in the tiny house, but we haven't left that because it's just the two of us. Well, it's the three of us with Betty, but she doesn't eat food out of the toaster oven. I mean, if we could come up with, well, she does eat some dog treats from the toaster oven, but
Yeah.
on the
She
regular,
does, we don't know about it.
right, on the regular, we cook in our toaster oven. And because our regular oven, there's just no point. It just uses too much energy and it takes forever to preheat and all that jazz. But anywho, we cook in our toaster oven on the regular, and it died during our no-buy year. We just went through our guidelines. You didn't hear anything about a toaster oven being allowed. So we panicked a little. No, I panicked. And so what do? I mean, we were just going to have to use the regular oven. I mean, we had the regular oven and it was taking forever.
Yeah.
And I did not like it.
Mm-mm.
So I contacted the company who made the toaster oven and told them we haven't even had this thing, I think maybe a year, or I can't, maybe it was a little less than a year, but I didn't have the receipt anymore. I didn't have the box. I didn't have anything. And so we were able to prove to them with the serial number, all the stuff they needed. And they replaced it. And I don't think we would have gone through, I know we wouldn't have gone through all that trouble prior to the no-buy year. We would have just bought a new toaster oven.
Bought a new toaster oven.
So, and that's not the only thing. There were 2 or 3 other things like that we contacted the company and said, hey, this broke. It shouldn't have broke this quickly. Here's the information you need. And we provided everything they needed. And we just wouldn't have jumped through all of those hoops, proving to a company that their product shouldn't have gone south that quickly. And we're not scamming them. We were just really legit, like proving to them that this is the situation. So anyway, the point is, do your due diligence, go through the motions, spend a little bit of extra time. And save some money and save some time, and I mean, not time. Save some money, spend a little bit of extra time, and get those items replaced if it's something that legitly should be replaced. Um,
And we also said no to things when people suggested we buy things. Sometimes it's hard to say no,
yeah,
and you got to learn how to do it, even if it makes you a little uncomfortable. We found that usually if we explained to people, they were pretty interested in why we were saying no, and you get over that uptight about saying no. And if they weren't, we didn't worry about it. But usually
yeah,
people were pretty,
yeah,
empathetic or understanding, or, oh, okay, that's a good idea. I should think about not buying that thing too. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people were
Yeah.
understanding.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and like you said, if they weren't, screw them.
Yeah. That's right.
Screw them.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I think we do think we did really well. And like we said on our YouTube channel, there were things that we messed up. I mean, I guess we said we messed up on. Or I remember there was a month we would say on the no buy year things that we bought that were out of the guidelines, and it's not like we just took the whole year and shot it, said, okay, it's shot, let's just drop it. We just started from scratch and the next day and, continued.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was a win. So the last
Yeah.
question is, would we do it again? Um, we're not actively engaging in the practice this year of a no buy year. A lot of people just kind of flip it and do it again the next year, or but we have definitely adopted the habits of the no buy year that we're going to just continue. We're going to continue into this year and beyond. Like we just talked about, contacting companies before we just spend money. Um,
Yeah, the thing is, with 12 months, a lot of things do become habit.
mhm.
And if not a constant habit like the appliance breaking, you did learn to think a little bit differently about some things, and you'll tend to probably think that way again.
Something just happened actually before we came in here and recorded that I needed, and I said, do we have any ideas of how to do this, rather than go and buy it? And it was like, oh, let's just YouTube it and see.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
there, and we're not even in 2021 anymore. So there are definitely things that are in practice that we're just going to continue. Where I mean, we could definitely go and buy something right now if we wanted to, but we are not going to. We're just going to continue those practices.
Hmm.
So we definitely encourage anyone to try it. I think it's great. It's a great mindfulness practice of getting out of the rut of consumerism and just buying just to buy, and that whole, oh, there's a sale, let me just go and buy because things are on sale. I can't even imagine that anymore. Um, you know.
No, and I don't like getting out into crowds much anyway. So it's like the less you do it, the less you miss it, and you don't want to do it. You want to find a ways not to do that. Getting out to big box stores or that where there's huge parking lots and lots of people. Not for me.
Yeah.
Not for this guy.
So it's an adopted lifestyle now in a way. So would we do it again? I don't think the answer really is would we do it again. I think we've sort of adopted the lifestyle in a way, just not so rigid. So we've done it. We've done it, and now we've put some things into practice.
A little more second nature now.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. So with that being said, I think that's the perfect segue to get into our 30-day declutter challenge. We're not doing the minimalism challenge this year. Have actually put together our 30-day declutter challenge. If you're interested in starting the year off decluttering, because who doesn't need a bit of decluttering in their life? you can get your hands on our free download of the 30-day declutter challenge. It's definitely not too late. You can start anytime. It's 30 days. The link for that's in the show notes. It's something that you can start anytime you want. It's something that, Jerry and I have all through the years done all these different challenges. It seems like everybody sort of has a way to purge stuff and do it all in the first 30 days of January, of how to get rid of stuff and how to declutter. And so we kind of put together our own thing.
Yeah, and some of you may be asking, well, Shannon, could that be 30 days collectively spread out through the year? No, it's got to be 30 days in a row, and that's the only way for it to really be effective.
Yeah.
The best way for it to be effective, yeah. So, we put together a free 30-day challenge that has a task each day. Once again, 30 days in a row, task each day that helps you build habits that not only help you declutter your home, but help you to declutter a negative mindset. And, it's more than just the tangible items.
Yeah.
It's, it runs the spectrum of the things that bog down your mind and spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to find that it really helps you. At the end of the 30 days, you do have a different sort of way of thinking about the things. Like we talked about earlier, the emotional baggage and the physical baggage. So
indeed.
Anyway, I guess the last thing is that we just talk about time earlier. We can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with us, because we know it's valuable and we're just so grateful. And if you know someone who would find this episode helpful, please text them a link to it. And,
Yeah, and if you're feeling a little bit generous, screenshot the episode and share it on your stories. Tag us at Arner Ventures. Give us a 5-star review if you would, and
that would be really grateful. That's a great way to support us, is if you could give us a 5-star review. And if you do that before next week, we are giving away a gift pack from Sugar Wish. It would mean a ton to support us, but hey, what a bonus if you do that. We'll be drawing a name from the people who give us a 5-star review in the next week. So bonus if you do it within the next week.
And the people at Sugar Wish don't let you down. They have some really good things going on over there. So
yeah, Sugar Wish is great.
This is well worth it.
And if you have any feedback about this episode, please let us know, especially if you are in a no-buy year or considering it. Shoot us a DM. We would love to hear from you. And if you have any questions about it, let us know. We'll definitely answer you and answer any questions that you send our way. And you can always find us at arneradventures.com, on Instagram at arneradventures, and all of this is linked in the show notes.
So until next time, enjoy the journey that you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Yep. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.